Hey Techno Studs, we've talked about how OSPF uses hello packets to create neighborships with other routers on the same link. However, these OSPF hello packets serve another really important purpose, and that is something called a keep alive. It allows the routers to know if that neighboring router is still up and running. If there's two routers that have created adjacencies and are talking back and forth, one router goes down, that other router needs to know that it's down and to notify the rest of the network that that link is no longer viable. And so what it will do is these routers will send hellos every 10 seconds, every 30 seconds, or whatever you set it to. So to notify, hey, I'm still up and running. We call these keep alives. It keeps the link alive, it keeps the neighborship alive. And so let's go over OSPF Hello Timers. In our network here, router 2 has a neighborship with router 3. They've exchanged hello packets and are aware of each other. Now, if router 3 were to go down, router 2 may still continue to send traffic in that direction. It may not know that router 3 is down. So the hello packets will continue to send just to make sure that that neighborship stays alive. It will send every 10 seconds, every 30 seconds over to router 2 and just let it know, hey, I'm still up. And if a certain period goes by and it does not receive, router 2 does not receive a hello packet from router 3, it's going to assume that router 3 is down and then going to take it out of its neighbor table and then readjust to try to send to this network if there's an alternate route to that network. So let's talk about hello timers. Hello timers determines how chatty your interface is going to be. So one of those timers is the hello interval. Hello interval is going to be how often the hello packets are going to be exchanged. So for instance, if we have a hello timer of 10 seconds, then that means every 10 seconds, router 3 is going to send a message to router 2 and vice versa. Every 10 seconds, router 2 is going to send to router 3. So that's how often they're going to exchange those hello packets. 10 seconds is the standard for a point-to-point or a broadcast network. We have a point-to-point and a HDLC set up on these two links, so that would qualify as that. So that these by default would be 10 seconds. Every 10 seconds, it's going to be sending back and forth. Alternatively, we could have a non-broadcast multi-access or a point-to-multipoint network. These are Ethernet connections over here and here. And so those Ethernet connections are non-broadcast multi-access. So the default for that is 30 seconds. So it's going to vary depending on the interface that we have. So that's the hello interval. The default for the dead interval, and the dead interval is going to be if I don't hear from you in this amount of time, then I'm going to assume that you are down. So the dead interval for these connections are 4 times whatever the hello interval is going to be. So 40 seconds for the broadcast networks, and it's going to be 120 seconds for these non-broadcast multi-access networks. So that is the dead interval, and if I haven't heard from you in 40 seconds or 120 seconds, I'm going to assume that you're down and then figure out a different way to get to those networks. I'm going to recalculate. When we're setting up these links and to establish these neighbor adjacencies, we do need these hello and dead intervals to be the same. So within that hello packet that we saw that's sent back and forth, these details go into that, and to create this adjacency, they do need to be the same on both of the interfaces. Now, there are times that we may want to change the default for the hello interval and the dead interval. So we can actually configure this and change the default. And if we were to do this, we want to once again do it on each of the sides, but this is a per interface setting. So this link could be set to 10 seconds, while this link maybe is set for 20 seconds. Maybe the bandwidth is not as large, and so we want to conserve some bandwidth, or perhaps we just want this link right here is a very stable link and we're not concerned with it going down as much, or there might be some reasons why we'd want to change this. So we're going to, in our next video, get into how can we change the hello and dead intervals.